Hello everybody and welcome back. It is now episode 21, and as you know, in the last episode we killed the dragon after the dragon completely and totally humiliated us by throwing us off a ledge, which was really exciting and also incredibly discouraging. But this is a conversation we have already had, and you know, we're at another day and I'm feeling a little bit better, so I'm going to show you some things that I have done, because I went on ahead and did the whole in-city thing, and I got some shulker shells so that I could make myself some shulker boxes. At the moment I have only made one, but I have plenty of other boxes in waiting to be had. I also picked up a few other things while I was out there. And you may be asking, hey Abby, why didn't you do that on camera? Well, it's because I was jumping back and forth between creative mode and survival mode. And I figured that just wouldn't be altogether entertaining. And I also didn't think I would be doing a lot of talking. So what I did was I flew around the end in creative mode, and when I found an in-city, I would go ahead and hop into survival mode to go through it and kill shulkers, etc. But despite the fact that I was going into creative, I still felt really freaked out and nervous. You know, like my palms were sweating and all kinds of crazy stuff. Which is weird when you think about it, because, you know, you kind of can't die when you're in creative mode. But I was still pretty convinced that that was a thing that was going to happen. So, yeah, we're a little neurotic over here at CreativelyLazy. But I did kind of, you know, bite the bullet in the way that I can bite the bullet. And went into the end so that I could at least try to get some things that I thought might be kind of useful. In the process of doing that, I decided that I would wear iron armor just in case something crazy happened. That way I wouldn't lose, you know, all of my good stuff that I've worked so hard for. Instead of taking, you know, all my blue stuff with me, I went on ahead and, you know, made some items that I thought might be interesting. So yeah, this is all stuff that I ended up using, and here is the pickaxe that I used and the sword that I used, and it's got, I don't know, what does it have on it? I don't even remember. Efficiency, unbreaking, and silk touch on that, and then up here I've got fire aspect, unbreaking, sharpness 4, and looting 3. So I figured those would be good, and that way if I ended up dying, it wouldn't be a total loss and I wouldn't have to worry too terribly much about my stuff. I also managed to find these boots, which I thought would be good when I get to a point where I can combine them with the ones I'm currently wearing. And I also found this shovel, which again, when I feel less lazy and want to go grind out some experience, I can go ahead and combine it with my current shovel. I did manage to get 2 elytra, which I went on ahead and enchanted, so I have that taken care of, which is kind of neat. I've never had an elytra before, so eventually I will actually get to the whole entire thing of first flight. And I found quite a few diamonds while I was out there. So I've got some important things hanging out in here, just stuff that I, you know, might need just in general travels. So that's hanging out in the ender chest, which I do have one with me. That's what we got going on, and I do believe, yeah, I also got the dragon egg, so I'm gonna make a little space for that guy. But for now, I've got a few things on the list that I want to take care of, and I'm debating on what I want to do. So I just wanted to come and open this up and tell you what I had done and give you a little bit to think on some stuff, because it's kind of early in the morning and I'm sort of still sorting out things and sort of recouping after the dragon, and being in the end is just my brain's all frazzled. So I'm going to take a few minutes to figure out what I want to do, and then we'll, you know, get into that. So I'll be right back. Okie dokie, I am back, and as you can see, I am over at the Guardian Farm because I've decided that, you know, instead of just being a slacker and leaving things as they are, I should probably work on this place just a little bit since I have plans and such as that. One of the things I would like to address first and foremost is the smelter system for the giant kelp farm that's out there in front. I'm gonna go down into my maintenance tube here. Got this hallway all situated so it's looking a little less janky. And here's the room where I'm going to hopefully house the smelter. As you can see, I have already cleared it out. There was a whole bunch of furnaces and hoppers and such as that in this area here. The only thing I left in was my dropper down here because I've already got the water stream situated, and this is the water stream that'll carry the cooked kelp, or the dried kelp I guess, out and up to some chests that are hanging out up there. So I think what I'm gonna do is probably work on this off camera because, like I said, not very good at redstone, and I'm gonna have to reference a video and all of that good jazz. But I think I'm going to see if I can figure out a rail-based furnace array to fit down here in this space, see if I can get the kelp cooking automatically. And make it so that the only reason I really have to come down here is to load up the furnaces with fuel. I do realize that I could probably just make another, you know, transport system that comes from up in the monument down here and feeds into the furnaces that way, but I don't really mind having to run fuel down here every once in a while, especially if we're getting a decent amount of kelp off this farm that's constantly cooking, and I could just make a whole bunch of kelp blocks and bring them down and chuck them in and let them do their thing. So I am going to go ahead and get that done, and yeah, I'll get back with you once we've made some progress. All right, we are back, and that's a good thing because, you know, being back is always awesome. So over here, there we go. Yeah, we've obviously got dried kelp coming up our chute, and it, you know, comes up and flows over across this little thing. I think there's 15 double chests here, and it all collects in them, and then we can, you know, gather it up in a way that makes sense. I have a crafting bench right here, just mostly because it's convenient. Go ahead and turn it into some kelp blocks and head down our maintenance chute. Mumbo built this one, and I'll put a link in the description. It's a much older one. I think the video is like 4 or 5 years old, and it's pretty similar to something that, you know, someone else had done, and this, that, and the other thing. But I've used this one before, and it worked out pretty well for me. So I currently have it doing its thing, and it seems to be working. So this right here is the fuel chest. We can toss that in there. This chest is for smeltable items. So I guess if you really wanted to, you could come down here and throw stuff in here, but otherwise it's currently being fed by the kelp farm up there, and will be the thing that triggers these guys to bounce across the tracks. I built it across 8 furnaces. Originally I had it set up for 6, but I decided that wasn't quite fast enough for my liking, so I went on ahead and extended it out 2. And of course we have our little dropper guy down here spitting stuff out into the item stream that takes it on up top. So this is complete and working and functioning, and that makes me, you know, pretty happy. And yeah, I get that there is some designing inconsistency in this room down here, but since it's really meant more for utility than looking nice, I just made it look like it wasn't all, you know, dug out of just randomly generated stone. So this is working, it's going strong. We've got some just random storage chests here with just random things in it. Here are some, you know, little maintenance items, and then these guys are pretty much empty. I'll just throw that in there. So now that this is going, and I'll keep an eye on it, you know, because we're still loading it up with fuel, and this guy down here at the end is pretty sad. by comparison to everybody else. They should have enough fuel to get going for a good long time, and I'll just let it do its thing while I'm doing stuff up here, because one of the things that I said I wanted to do was to kind of turn this place into a bit of an underwater oasis. Now that was before I had filled it up with the conduit frame and tons and tons and tons of chests. By the way, how is this doing? Let us see. Oh my. Okay, so we're working on filling up. What are we working on filling up here? Looks like we're still working on the third row in, kind of. It seems to favor filling up the bottom chests and the top chests, and then it'll fill up everything in the middle. So I'm assuming, yeah, all of this is full. And then of course I've been unloading this every once in a while. And I think our fist chests are full out to there, and it's a pretty similar situation for the prismarine shards, which I think are actually quite a bit fuller than everything else. I think this is probably the most common drop. And these, are they about halfway-ish too? Yeah, I guess so. Okay, so that's where we're at on items that have come off of this farm over the last many days and the time that I've spent here. So it's definitely producing, and I'm gonna have, you know, prismarine and especially sea lanterns for quite some time. But anyways, I went on ahead and tore down the tree farm. And like I said, I had thought to turn the entire place into this nice little grassy oasis. But I don't know if I should do the whole thing or maybe just this area of it, because this is the area that hasn't quite been affected. And like what I can do is maybe, you know, I can pop out, if I cover like all of this in dirt and grass, right? I can pop out little tiny bits and pieces, just sort of at random over here, like this, and stick dirt in those, or grass blocks, to make it look like the dirt has kind of spilled over, sort of like there's some wear and tear and what have you. I think I might go ahead and get to work on that. I need to add in some sea lanterns across this line through here just to get in a little bit more light. I don't know if I'm going to put them in every third block like I did in these areas. I might do every fifth like I did down here, just so it's not quite as, I don't know, dramatic. That's a lot of sea lanterns. And if I wasn't lazy, I would probably decrease that by a few. But I'm lazy, so I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Go ahead and add in some light where I would like there to be light. And then just see what I can come up with. I don't want to make it all just one flat floor of dirt. I think it would be kind of cool to maybe have like a few couple of 2 or 3 small hills, you know, nothing like giant or what have you. I do think it would be kind of nice to have an area in here where you can plant, you know, a line of birch trees if you want to, so that you have access to wood. I think that would be pretty cool. So yeah, let me get to work on that, and I'll be back with you in just a bit. Okie dokie guys, this is what I have done. I went on ahead and tore out the floor all around over in this area and just kind of went haphazardly along. Might wanna do a slightly better job of that, like maybe over here, you know. And basically we'll just stick dirt in wherever there's open space. I'm gonna have to figure out how I want to light the area up. I suppose I could just throw some sea lanterns down in the floor and put some little bush looking things on top of it, you know. The grass is such a lovely shade of very dark green. And one of the things that I kind of like to do, oops, not my intention. Oh, I lost it. Oh well. One of the things that I kind of like to do is square stuff up so that I can place things easier. So what I'll do is go ahead and fill in the outside here, kind of even it out just a little bit, and then go from there. we could stick a piece of grass right there, why not? And I do realize that this grass, if given the proper lighting, tap, will very likely begin to spread, which is just fine. I don't know if it can spread onto coarse dirt. Also fine. So there we go, we've evened it up just a little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and continue to do this, and I'll give you an update when I have made some headway. Oh yeah. Yeah, you stay there. You can be the start of a hill or something. I thought it would be cool to try to put some sort of a little hill structure in there, maybe out of some stone and such as that, since I've got sturm. Oh, my entire inventory is full of dirt. What am I thinking? Goodness. Okie doke, and here we are. We've got it all filled in with some dirt. I think for just a flat surface, this is looking pretty good. Oh, missed the spot. Whoops. There we go. Yeah, I think that looks kind of cool for a start. I think what I'm gonna do is keep on working on it, because I think it would be kind of cool to have maybe, you know, like a water feature right here that maybe has some stone or some grayness and some coarse dirt or gravel or what have you worked into it, leading into a little pool that's basically the water that's, you know, down there, maybe with some sea lanterns down there just to brighten it up a little bit. And then possibly over here I can build up like a little stony boulder area, or try to make it look like the monument's corner here sort of like gave out or whatever, or maybe whoever, you know, built it before we found it, we'll just pretend that there wasn't anything on the inside of it with, you know, 3 monsters that we had to kill, etc., etc. Maybe I can make it look like, you know, this has been damaged or collapsed in a way without ruining the fact that they're soul sand. We have a farm up there that we have to that we have to pay attention to. I might see what I can do about making it look like a little rock or something has sort of broken its way in, and perhaps it has also sprung a leak that has formed a nice little stream that goes over here to a little water place, and as a result of there being water on the inside and a breach that's bringing in all this dirt and silt, we now have this and a little bit of life and all that. You know, water has a way, especially moving water has a way of bringing life with it. So I'll see what I can do, and, you know, once I've made some progress, I'll show you what I've got. Just kind of hope for the best in the blink of an eye it's gonna take for Mr. Editor to do his magic. But yeah, I'm not very good at landscaping, just as I'm not very good at building. So, like I said, hope for the best. And apparently the sky god of Minecraft is very upset. So hopefully my project here isn't cursed. Yeah. Alrighty, so I have finished doing my little landscaping project. Let's go take a look at what I have done up here. How about this? So this is our grassy area. I went on ahead and put us in a little log pile here. Here's a nice little work area with some things that you could do. Didn't necessarily leave any space to plant trees, but you know, you could throw down a row here and bone mill them up and chop them down right quick. There's also already a couple trees here. And then here we go. We have a little farming area with wheat, carrots, and potatoes. And we have our little feature here. So here's the little rocky place that has borne its way through our monument here, and it's sprung a little bit of a leak as promised, and it has started to flow down, probably flooded the place and brought in all this dirt and all the seeds that made all the grass and the flowers and the trees, and you know, I think it looks pretty cool. And obviously it did some eating away of stuff here, and technically speaking, I guess, you know, maybe some of these little rocky bits wouldn't be here, but I guess it just depends on how old the monument itself is and how long this has been doing its thing. You know, could always bring in some rocks and some grit that can just build up, but yeah, so this is it. This is what we've got. I've got most of the lighting in here hidden underneath some leaf blocks that are just stuck in the ground. I think it turned out pretty well, considering the fact that I don't tend to do this sort of thing very often. If I wanted to, I could probably mow down a little bit of this grass here, just thin it out some, maybe pop that one out. That's the thing. We now have the little tiny oasis under the water, and we have decided to utilize it by putting some food here. Not that we don't have an abundance of it, but kelp isn't actually very filling or satisfying, I guess you could say. So yeah, and of course, you know, if you need to go up under here, you can. And I might want to take out these pillars of dirt since I just used them to place the lanterns, but I guess it just doesn't matter that much to me because it's under here, and it's that area down there is just whatever. I don't care. I was more concerned about stuff inside. I like it. I think it's a nice little narrative. Nice little narrative for our space down here. But unfortunately, that is all we have for today's episode. And we got quite a bit done, and I'm a little excited. It's nice to be down here doing stuff in a safe place where a dragon isn't killing my face. And, you know, just doing some stuff that I think looks kind of nice, and yeah, I just think it's pretty neat. And I don't know, maybe we'll do some more stuff down here, but for the most part, I think I've done what I want to do out here at the good old-fashioned monument. So next episode, we're probably not going to be here. I'm gonna go do something else someplace else. In any case, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It's pretty low key and just doing some stuff, getting things done as we like to do. And I'll see you later. You know, in a manner of speaking. This is Abby, over and out.